cock.
Now that I have your attention with Yushila's cock, hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for taking the time to check it out. I'm ffxiv, a Final Fantasy XIV fan animator who uses Blender to bring everyone's favorite characters to life.
We've grown accustomed to reckless improvision due to the antics of an incorrigible associate.
It's been a little over half a year since I started posting animations on here, and Dawn Trail is coming up in just a few days, so I wanted to create a video to talk to you all directly. This gives me a chance to properly thank you, and for you to know a bit more about me if you wish. I've split this up into a few chapters, so feel free to use those to guide yourself along. First, let's go over some of the milestones we've hit, which is wild that I'm able to put a part like this in a video, but we've reached over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 500 followers on Twitter. I never imagined that amount of support for my animations. In my mind, time is the most valuable thing you can give. It's something that you can never get back. So I'm just so grateful that you're willing to share your time with me on my projects. Seriously, thank you for your support. I hope to keep working hard to make videos that you can enjoy, from the silly ideas I have to maybe something more. Speaking of making these videos, why did I start? And why FF14 based ones specifically? Well, I love the franchise. I played most of the Final Fantasy games when I was growing up, and I started FF14 during the start of the pandemic, when we were all locked at home and during the Shadowbringers expansion. I honestly didn't know anything about the game when I started. It was my first ever MMO. I just picked it up when my friend asked if I wanted to join him in starting. And I was hooked ever since. Since then, I played through all the expansions, cleared a few savages, worked on soloing deep dungeons, and made a lot of fantastic friends along the way. Went through a bunch of names and Fantas, and ended up with my two characters, Theo and Shizuka. And now, along with everyone else, I'm excited for Dawn Trail. On my Twitter page, I started to talk about what I like about each expansion leading up to it, so some more thoughts on the game are there if you're curious. Animation-wise, I found 3D art to be my creative outlet, a place where I can take the ideas in my head, make a model, and bring them to life. And I started learning it because, well, I wanted to make a 3D animated series, and I still do, in fact, but more on that later. I started with Source Filmmaker, the Valve animation software, and after dabbling a bit in that, I moved on to Blender, which I still use to make these videos today. I studied hard to learn modeling, UV mapping, texturing, rigging, lighting, rendering, making my own models from scratch, and I feel like I started getting somewhere, and then I quit. Yep, I quit. The entire process of making a character from scratch is incredibly time consuming, and making a series by myself with that workflow wasn't feasible, especially while working a full-time job. And realizing that, I felt really discouraged. I felt like I wasted my time and that I'd never reach my goal. And because of that, I started looking at 3D art in a really negative light. And a while passes, a good while passes, and I'm still loving and playing Final Fantasy XIV, and something comes up on my feed, and it's an FF14 animated skit. And I've seen machinimas before where, you know, all the stuff is taken from footage in game, which is great, but I could tell that this wasn't made in an in-game space. And after looking into it a bit more, I saw that it was made in Blender, and I get curious. A fire was relit somewhere, and I scrambled to learn some of the basics, and then after that I began making some renders for some of my friends' characters. Just stills at first, and then making them move a little bit, just a little bit. And what I felt like when I got good enough, I created my first video. I was really enjoying the Fall Guys event at the time, so I just made one about that. About if pushing wasn't Fall Guys. Just a little silly idea. And then something weird happened. I really liked doing it. And even weirder, others really enjoyed it. So I just kept going, trying out something new and trying to improve every video, and here we are now. For my future plans, I want to keep making videos and getting better at 3D animation. I really enjoy making entertaining videos for you, and every video I make, I feel myself improving as well. With Dawn Trail coming out, I do want to focus on playing through and enjoying that as much as I can, so no major animation projects for a little bit, but I do plan on getting back into it as soon as I can afterward. I have so many ideas that I want to make real, and maybe I'll get even more ideas from Dawntrail. But what am I improving for? Well, remember that 3D animated series I want to make? I still want to make that real. It's an idea I've had since I was a kid, and obviously that idea changed a whole bunch over time growing up. But now I've changed the story to fit around the FF14 universe, and for the first time in a really long time, I feel like I can make it real again. I'm not experienced enough to make it happen yet, but with more practice, I feel like it's possible. The main thing holding me back is that I don't have experience making animations with a serious tone. It's very different from the videos I've made so far, and that's what these two are for. You recognize them as Fio and Shizuka, and my two Final Fantasy XIV characters. I'm planning on telling a more serious story about them. A tale of two world crossers. A practice series, if you will, which will hopefully lead into my main one. Of course, I'll still be doing the silly videos you all are used to, and I hope to share this story with you someday, so please look forward to it. If you've made it here, thank you so much for watching. I hope that learning more about what I do and why I do it was worth your time. As the days tick down for Dawntrail, remember to stay safe, stay kind, and stay healthy. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in Dawntrail.